All right, slight update for the farm. New four-wheeler. It's one of those things where, anyway, it's a regular old Honda Foreman. It's nothing special. I do like these though. They have a solid axle on the back. You know, four-wheelers are cold in the winter, but they are easier on your ground than a side-by-side. A lot lighter. We got the sheep moved up into part of our lawn. Dog's eating her breakfast. You know what's funny is the sheep follow the dogs because the dogs always go first. The dogs follow the feeder. So moving sheep is really easy. The sheep want to be by the dogs. And the dogs want to be by their food. So this is part of our lawn. There's a corral right there. But we're just going to be cleaning this up. I don't know what happened. I really wasn't enjoying my sheep very much at all this year. There's that weather. What a big boy. I really wasn't enjoying my sheep at all this year. And then this fall, something kind of flipped. So we got to tighten this line up. Sheep, I don't know. I'm convinced they can see slack in a line. It's easy to tighten this up. You just pull it outward a couple of feet. It'll tighten right up. But I'm convinced sheep can see slack in a line. There's a couple of wethers that realized they're on their own. Little playful little buggers. You can tell those are definitely a month or two shy of those bigger ones. But you can see we're just in here's our orchard with our chickens nominally in there. And so the sheep are going to get this part of this little field, this bottom field. This is mostly Reed's Canary. We'll kind of walk over here and see what they're up to. So they're going to get basically from here, all of this for about 3 days. I mowed a path for my line because this grass is pretty tall. And found some old barb the hard way on my mower. So got to get the tire off and patch and mount that again. But yeah, I've just really been enjoying my sheep again this fall as we've kind of gotten past the flurry of the summer. Been spending time out here and just kind of watching them, appreciating them. But yeah, we're in that beautiful time of the year with fall where it's still 70s, maybe even 80 here and there. It's getting down to 50s overnight, so the house is lovely to sleep in without the AC kicking on every 5 seconds. So yeah, there's quite a bit of ground here. I'm probably skimming them a little bit because I'd like to hit everything one more time. So we're halfway through a rotation of about 35 days. And I'd like to go one more time and get all the way maybe to December, or you know, unless the snow kicks me out, and then we'll feed hay obviously. But you can see there's quite a bit of grass out down there. And it just stretches out, and there's some woods they can get into and eat leaves. I'm a big believer in letting them browse. I think there's a lot of self-care they can do with, you know, if they have worms at all. I know for a fact in the winter they hit those pine trees like crazy. I think they're just shedding out what little worm load they have. Yeah, so look at the size of this wether, his dark brown one. I have a picture of him when he was born, and he's just, I should not have taken his nuts. That would have been a great ram if he had his balls the whole time. Just shows you can never get them right all the time. Just a beast. So anyway, yeah, I decided to get a second. I took my Honda in, the dark green one, to get some repairs done. And I was just thinking about the hassle of hooking up a trailer and loading every single day. And there's something from like a time and motion perspective that would argue there are some tools that you want to duplicate and some that you don't. And I kind of hit a point where I said, all right, so we're going to put the new one here because I'm here most of the time. And when the old one gets repaired, we'll put it with the cattle. And we'll just not have to fuss around with that. Plus, if Doug wants to tool around, you know, he and I have been talking about different ways to stop driving tractors and trucks on fields, and so a four-wheeler is a good way for him to do things that he needs to do that don't require, you know, a multi-ton vehicle out on our ground compressing it. So just another peaceful fall morning. They are looking good. So you can see they have all of this ground, so that we're going to be able to hit this at least one more time before the grass shuts all the way down. And there's a back fence behind that band of woods, so that'll keep them here. Plus, if there's some place, I found when I'm in this paddock, the sheep like to be up here. The dogs are up here. It's a high ground. It's by the house. I think they instinctively know there's less pressure by the house. Look at her. She's just itching away. Isn't that a beautiful sheep? That's a keeper right there. That's a keeper right now. In case you're wondering, that's a fur mark on her. She doesn't have a dirty bum. I have this one old sheep that I've had, one of my originals, that had a brown spot on her butt, and she really spread that out to her offspring. I probably have 10 ewes from her all in. So anyway, it's an expense, but you know, it's a Honda, so it's gonna do its thing and last me a good long while. Basically, you change their oil once a year, put tires on them, they run. Yeah, they're pretty good, pretty solid little suckers. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We're just cruising right now. It feels really nice to know that there's not, I mean, there's a ton of stuff I should probably be doing, but I'm just concentrating on the must-dos this fall, as work is kind of kicking my butt a little bit. And trying to stop for a minute. That's the other thing, is I end up going all summer and I don't enjoy a lick of it. And then I wonder where it all went. And so I'm just trying to stop and enjoy my fall, just a hair here and there. Now that we're done selling stuff, now that we're done buying stuff, now that we're done making hay like maniacs, we're on our last round of hay right now. And that's mostly we're just going to roll it up and stick it in the shed, I think. We're not going to do I don't think we're going to do too much more square baling or mess around with any of that. So, yep. So old Sheppy here, she's got a bit of a goopy eye again. It's kind of crazy. See that? And she's limping. I wonder if she got in a little scrap with something again. I don't know. But we'll see how that plays out. Might have to have the vet look at her again. It's so interesting that this dog, you'd think in my mind, the male dog would be the scrapper, but it's this female dog that's just like a cold-blooded criminal murderer. She kills all those outlaw coyotes. Or even, she doesn't really kill them anymore because they don't fight her too much, but they just, she's the scrapper. And the male dog he's the one that always ends up chilling with the sheep. There, that's the sheep, that's my original one. That with the brown butt that spread that kind of birthmark onto. See, there's another one right there, another one right there. She just kind of has spread her beautiful genetics through this flock, and she is older than the hills and just doing just fine. We hear my daughter, she's calling for this dog. I keep telling her she's not a pet, but she doesn't listen to me. All right, we better go. Have a good day.